On this side of it, if you are new to me, my name is Felicia Kelly. Everyone calls me Fee. I am a speaker, I'm a paramedic, and I'm the creator of the Rich Method for Living. It is a framework for high performing professionals to stop reacting to life and start living it. You do not have to earn a rich life. You have to move like you want one and like you have one. And so, one of the things we're going to be talking about all the time is intentional living. How you, as a person, dictate your time, money, and energy tells me everything that I need to know about you. Everything. And we haven't even gotten into the notes yet. How you operate your time, money, and energy tells me everything I need to know about you. Notice I did not say how much money you have. I don't really care about that. What I realize that is not about how much money you have, is how you move as a person with money. Okay. We're going to talk about that a lot as well. Looks like I'm good here. And then once we are done with this conversation, we continue the conversation on the rich side. That is my private membership community where we work through the rich method for living together. We go through relationship management and how to create a support system that can support the life that you're building. That way you're not carrying everything alone. Then we move into intentional living. We talk about how you manage your time. We're spending a lot of time on that today. We talk about the money management system that I've personally used to pay off thousands of dollars of debt and have helped dozens of women pay off over $300,000 in debt. It's called the 818 money method. It is a part of the rich method for living. We talk about that. We talk about energy and how time multiplied by money equals the amount of energy that you're going to have to use. And then we move into cultivating growth and we talk about how no, you can't accomplish everything today. Superhero, big boss, type A, oldest daughter syndrome personality. No, you can't do everything today. We talk about what growth looks like for you to look, feel, and experience success or feel successful or really not be an imposter syndrome when it comes to your success. And then we move into creating harmony. And that's where we completely align our personal and professional lives with our purpose. So we're doing what we want to be doing and what we need to be doing instead of what people want us to do. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, I want to make sure that I'm recording, and I am. And then we work together in the Rich Side community to put it into practice. And so let me pull these notes back up. We're going to disable that. We're going to go to that download. There we are. So everybody that's on live, where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? If you end up watching this conversation on a replay, chances are it's going to be in my membership platform. So I want to know where you're tuning in from. I want to know how you heard about me. Okay, North Carolina. Love, love, love to see it. That's where I am as well. I'm in Eastern Carolina. I'm a paramedic in Eastern Carolina. Now, here's what I want to tell you. Your calendar tells the truth about life you're actually building, not the life you keep saying you want. Yes, I'm coming out of the gate swinging. And I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question. If I looked at your calendar from the last 30 days, would it reflect the life you say is important? Or would it reveal the life that you've accidentally created? One of the things that I say in my keynotes, or even on the rare occasion that I'm on a panel, I always say that everyone has a lifestyle, whether you built it intentionally or life handed it to you and you accepted it. A couple of ways to answer that question, if you don't know the answer, is to ask yourself, do you feel busy all the time? Does your calendar completely control you? And when I ask you that, I don't mean because you're an organized person. I mean because you have so many obligations that you can't really make a move spontaneously. You can drop an emoji anytime this sounds familiar to you. So today we're talking about one of my favorite concepts inside the Rich Method for Living, and that's the fact that your calendar is a confession. One of the things I often say is that time multiplied by money equals energy. So if you have a lot of time, but you don't have a lot of money, how can you have so much energy because you're spending all your time trying to grind? If you have a lot of time, you have no time, but a lot of money. If you don't delegate and start paying somebody to do some of these things for you, you're not going to have any energy. You cannot have energy without time multiplying by money. You just can't. Look at anybody in their situation. Look at your own. How many hours do you work a week? How much time do you spend on other people's emergencies? How much time do you spend actually on yourself and not taking care of everybody else's problems? One of the things that is very common for people in my audience, high performers, doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, like when I was a seven-figure business coach, it doesn't matter if you're in the health industry, if you're some medical professional who's been following me on my last almost 3 year journey into medicine. The problem is the same. You carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, and everybody else's problem is your emergency. People say family, health, peace, and purpose matter the most, but their calendars typically tell a different story because your calendar does not reveal your intention, it reveals your decisions. What you meant to do and what you did are likely two different things if you are not already living some version of the rich method for living. I am not the only person that teaches this, but I am the only person that teaches it this way, from this perspective, and this systematically. A lot of you cannot develop the lifestyle that you want, and you're constantly choosing between your personal and professional life because you have not systematized your life. And when I say approach life from a systematic perspective, I'm not telling you to be a robot. As in fact, I'm telling you the opposite. Today, I want to show you three things that your calendar is probably trying to tell you. Key point number one, and we alluded to it earlier. Your calendar reflects your priorities, not your intentions. Every yes shapes your life. Every time you say yes, you are denying yourself the opportunity to do the things you really want to do. We hear all these methods online, and thankfully, the guru coaching is kind of dying out. But one of the things that people always say is, you got to learn to say no. You just have to learn to say no. That's all well and good, and I agree with that. But every time you say no, you open up an opportunity to say yes to something that you really want. That is why it's difficult for you to say no, because you don't realize that saying yes denies you opportunities in the future. Thank y'all so much for the heart means. I'm a very transparent person, so yes, I will scratch my eye while I'm on this call and hope my eyeliner stays on. Moving on, busyness is not proof of alignment. Just because you're busy does not mean that you're moving. A lot of you stay busy because you cannot handle the silence of your own life. Because in silence, you start thinking about all the bad decisions that you're making or all the things you're allowing in life that you should not be allowing. But if you just stay busy, you feel better about yourself. If you just stay busy, you could feel like a boss. Busy does not mean productive. Thank you, Mark Ski. 100% agree. Busy does not mean productive. So now you need to open your calendar and review the last 30 days. Was that busyness? Was it production? Was it your responsibility to do anyway? How many things on your calendar are for you? Who got the most of your time? What got pushed aside? Would you intentionally repeat the last month of your life? If the answer is no, then we need to make a move. If your calendar doesn't reflect your priorities are not leading your life. Just because it's an emergency does not make it yours. You cannot be all things to all people. We know that, but high performers tend to not acknowledge it in a way that is conducive for their life. Now, I talked a little bit about the rich side. Inside the rich side, we don't just talk about intentional living, we build it. So the link to that will always be around these videos and these conversations. So if you don't know me, if you are new to me, my name is Felicia Kelly. I'm a paramedic, a speaker, and creator of the Rich Method for Living. I designed that framework so that I can help high performers stop reacting to life and to start building a structure and a system around all of the things that they carry so that you can have the support to carry those things. This is what I speak about every day. I spent a decade being a trainer, a business coach, a sales coach all over this country. And one of the things I realize is that high performers have the same problems across the board. It's not an entrepreneur thing. It's not a first responder thing. It's not a doctor thing, a nurse thing. High performers in general will carry the weight of the world and meanwhile react to life as it happens because you have too many responsibilities to be intentional. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you, Marsky. So now let's talk about the hidden cost of every yes. We alluded to it earlier. Every yes is also a no to something else, just like every no is an opportunity for a yes to something else. Yes to work that you really don't need to be doing can become no to recovery. When you say yes to everyone else, you're saying no to yourself. Saying yes to trying to go after this new accomplishment that you may not really need, or to chase this money that you may not really need, can translate to a no for being present from your family, your friends, the people who love you, but most importantly, yourself. I want you to write this down. This is what we call a WTD moment. WTD moment, write that down. Time is never just spent, it is exchanged. We touched a little bit on the TME equation where time times money equals energy. Every decision will cost you one, two, or all three of those. And yes, we do need to count the cost before we make a move. And if you don't decide where your time, money, and energy go, your obligations will. Time, money, and energy work hand in hand. We treat them like separate things, but they are part of a circular system. Time, money, and energy are cyclical. They're not individuals. They work together or they work against each other. It will be one or the other. Until you learn how to make your time and your money work together, your energy will always be low. You will always be frustrated. You have to stop treating them as separate things and understand that if you don't make them work together, they will be your biggest enemy. So, inside the rich side, we complete a 30-day calendar audit together and redesign your calendars around value instead of urgency. For example, I don't operate on a 7-day week, I operate on a 4-day system. Reason being is when I came into EMS, I was on a schedule, and now the schedule I'm on requires me to work one day. I work 24-hour shifts, and then I'm off for 3 days. I absolutely love it. So on day one, I'm typically at work. When I get off that next morning, if I have some errands to run, I do it. I go home. And then I have a specific system I use for the first day that I'm off. Then I have another thing that I do the second day I'm off, and the third day I'm off. Of course, I get ready for going back to work and other things, but everything I do is on a 4-day system. So now let's talk about designing your life intentionally. Most people build their lives around a 7-day week because that's what they've always been taught. And because I'm a paramedic, that traditional Monday through Friday mindset does not fit my life. I'm also a business owner. So that is why I designed my life around that 4-day rotation. And I have been more productive. I have been more present. I have been more available for the things and people I need to be available for, like my children. I schedule recovery time. If you're on my email list, you saw my email the other day when I had that fiasco on the way to the beach. But I schedule that time. That beach trip has been planned for weeks because I designed my life intentionally around that 4-day rotation because that works for me. When I work with people on designing it in the rich method for living, when we're in the rich side, we're going to design what's right for you. You may need to work on a 3-day rotation or a 5-day rotation, depending on what your obligations are. But I schedule recovery time, family time, content creation, community, all the things that I need. I schedule it. My calendar serves my life, not the other way around. My calendar used to own me. My calendar used to own me. Now it doesn't. So before next week begins, I want you to schedule one thing that matters to you before somebody else gets on your calendar and schedules your life for you. Here's what key takeaway from point 3. If you do not intentionally design your calendar, obligations and other people will. And then you'll wake up one day and say, I never do anything for myself. And then realize I did this to myself. You're not doing things for yourself because you're too busy doing things to yourself. You put yourself in these situations because it makes you feel good to be a hero because you got some unhealed things down in there. You say yes all the time because it gives you anxiety to say no. What if they get mad? Let them. If you don't intentionally design your life, if you don't intentionally design your calendar, if you don't intentionally design the space for yourself to grow and thrive in life, life will do it for you. You wonder why you're getting frustrated all the time. You're wondering why you can't sleep. You're wondering why, fill in the blank. This could be the reason. So we're going to reset one more time before we wrap and recap a little bit. Number 1, your calendar reflects your priorities, not your intentions. Number 2, every yes costs you something. And every no gives you the freedom to say yes. And finally, design your life first, then life and priorities and calendar after. And I want to ask you this. Would you recommend the life your calendar shows that you live to someone you love? Would you recommend that someone you love and care about live the way that you do? If not, I'm going to encourage you to join the rich side. If you're ready to stop reacting to life and start building a life that can sustain your success, that's where you need to be. The details will be on my profile somewhere. I'm not hard to find. So your calendar is a confession. Make sure you're telling the story you actually want to live. If you're new to me, don't know me very well, my name is Felicia Kelly. Most people call me Fee. I'm a paramedic speaker and creator of the Rich Method for Living, and I'll see you on the rich side.